Welcome to the SLP Stress Management Podcast, your place to manage stress, reduce the risk of burnout, and find more balance in and out of your life as an SLP. In today's episode, we will practice a meditation for when you need focus. We'll also look at a way to help you shake off and move through those moments when you know you are stressed. And we'll talk about some ways that I have found helpful when I know that I am procrastinating, especially to avoid doing some big things. I can't wait to share them all with you, so let's dive right in. Welcome to your wellness tip for this week. Today I have a tip and really a little exercise for you to do when you are in a moment of stress and you are fully aware that you are in a moment of stress and you want to move through it, not ignore it, avoid it, or just push it away, but move through it, work through it, and you have no idea what to do. So it's when you've practiced becoming aware of things. You know that there are, things you could do to help manage your stress, but when it hits and you are in it, what can you do to move through it? So this is a thing that you can do to get out of just your head, right, where your stress and your thoughts are spiraling, to feel in your body, feel what that stress feels like, but also to get grounded, head into body, and to literally work through and shake the stress off. So this is very similar to taking a deep breath in when you were maybe in a yoga practice and exhaling to, release and let go of some tension. Or you could think of shaking off your nerves when you're about to go, do a sporting event or go ski down a mountain or jump off a diving board or, something that involves a little bit of that excitement, nervous, and risk. So what you can do here is to take a deep breath in, maybe reach your arms up overhead, and as you exhale, shake it out. Shake your hands, shake your arms, wiggle the shoulders, kind of, jump around with your feet, but feel like you are shaking it off, and then find stillness, get grounded. Take another deep breath in and reach up, filling up, and as you exhale, maybe open the mouth and shake it out. And another deep breath in. And one more time, shake it out. And then just feel your feet planted. Feel your breath again. And you've given yourself a moment to work through and to move through that stress. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes. And you can head over to Instagram at Jessie Andrix and practice along with the video there. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's Wellness Tip. Do you ever want to learn how to build resilience or maybe practice gratitude? Or maybe you're looking for some ways to reduce tension or relieve stress through practicing yoga. Or perhaps you're looking to tame your monkey mind or build some strategies that take you beyond multitasking during your day. If so, you are in luck. Over at the SLP Stress Management Course Central, all of these courses and more are on sale for just $15 now through August 1st. You can head over and purchase any one of these courses, or maybe a few, and listen to the course, take the quiz, and earn a certificate for 1 hour towards your professional development hours. These will be available until August 1st, and then they will be gone. So make sure you head over to jessieandrix.thinkific.com or send me an email, jessie@jessieandrix.com for more information, and head over, grab the course, learn what you need, and move forward. Welcome to your meditation practice. Today we are going to build focus, because whether you are working right now and maybe have a lot going on, or maybe you are off on a break, maybe you're off for the summer and not having a schedule has thrown you a bit. What you might need is some focus. So let's find some of that in our meditation practice today. Find a comfortable seat, maybe sitting in a chair or sitting cross-legged on the floor or a cushion, wherever you are. Feel your bottom connect down and then grow tall through your spine, not rigid, but lifting the rib cage off the waist, little lift through the chest. Let your shoulders roll away from your ears and down the back, and think about the crown of the head just reaching a little bit taller, like you are a candle and you are pulling on that wick. Begin to close your eyes. Allow your hands to rest in your lap. Relax your jaw. Relax the shoulders. Relax any tension around your eyes. Just begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And at first, notice the breath coming in and out, filling up the belly, the rib cage, the chest, and then emptying out. Maybe notice any sensations, the temperature of the breath, the air coming in and out. The rise and fall of the chest. And then begin to bring your focus to that space right below the nostrils, right above the upper lip. The space where you may feel the breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Just noticing here with each breath. One simple point to focus on. You may absolutely find that you begin to focus on other things and your mind wanders and thoughts really start to come in. And that is okay. When you notice these, come back to the breath and come back to that one point to focus on. This is the practice. Time and time again, even if it's constant, coming back to that point, back to your focus, and breathing. Bring the focus back in for another breath or two. And then begin to let it just drift away purposely. When you're ready, open your eyes. Know that at any time you can find that focus. Take a few breaths and practice again. Thank you so much for joining in today. Oh, it has been a while. So hello. Hi. Thank you for joining back in and for sticking with me. Or maybe it's your first time you've tuned in, and I really appreciate that as well. But it has been a while for me being here. Honestly, the end of the school year, like that last quarter, really snuck up on me and was 1,000 times busier than I ever imagined it could be. Like nothing bad or unreasonable or really like I knew it was going to be busy. So it wasn't completely unexpected. It was just so much more. Like just a lot of things to balance in life between being a parent to two young kids with a lot of stuff going on in their schools for end of the year and celebrations. My own work to wrap up for the year. Being part of the PTA, like a very, like having a role in my daughter's PTA and having a lot of things going on with that towards the end of the year and moving into the next year. All the paperwork, all the filing, all of the last minute, I'll do this when I have a chance, and knowing that the end of the year is your last chance, things for the end of the school year. And then all the joyful celebratory events that come along with it, the graduations, the, fun events, and just all of these things. And also COVID twice. It has been a lot. So my intention was to come back with like a wrap up post, or really a series of posts, a series of episodes, and some insights into my first year back in the SLP world. And I will totally do that because this was my first year back after a break and working just like different side of the SLP world, which I'll talk about in some upcoming episodes, but also being back in the schools, which I hadn't really worked in a very long time. So I do want to share that. I really do, just to share some of my story to, maybe inspire you, but also just to, share some of it with you. But what is more realistic right now, and what I want to share in case it helps you along the way, is procrastination. Just sharing a little bit about this. You see, I have been procrastinating on a few things, some of which are like announcements that I just, like not dreading having to make, but that like it's just hard, like any little thing that's out of the typical is hard. And I'll be making those in my newsletter, and so you can subscribe below and stay updated on those. If you hit the link for the SLP Toolbox, you will be updated on all of that. There are things that just kind of carry some like emotion with them and that are not completely cut and dry, or that require some like uncertainty in learning. Like some of it isn't even related to this. Some of it is, planning for the upcoming year. I'm going to be revamping my website, which I'm so excited about, but also it's like all the time that it takes. And being off over the summer and that kind of being unusual and trying to figure out like what to do with my day when I have nothing that I have to do and so many things that I want to do. And then also just, things again, like with learning some new things for PTA, getting some new things prepared, which again, I'll talk about in some upcoming episodes for different ways that I want to do some things in the upcoming year. And so instead of tackling all of these things, I have pushed them aside, found other things that, need to be done or that I want to do, and I just kind of let those things sit there. Only they don't just sit there, they sit there and grow and fester until I can't take the stress of them, and then I tackle them. Um, and maybe that sounds familiar. So, this is procrastination in a nutshell. And it can seem like a super productive way to do things, especially if you have been using this as a tool since like way back in 8th grade when you had to start writing 5 paragraph essays and book reports. Um, the more pressure, the more like in the zone you'll be. And while this can be true, it can also carry with it a lot of mental load in the preceding moments and days before you jump in. And usually this is linked to some kind of avoidance, at least in my experience. And so, since stress is the thing you are here to reduce and, let go of some of that mental load, here are a few things that I find help me when I notice that I am procrastinating, especially in order to avoid things. So, one thing that I have found helpful is to get up and move. So, not to work on it, not to push and be like, just sit there and just get started. But sometimes first, before I can do that, I've got to get up and move. I know it seems counterproductive to continue to not do the thing, but like getting up and moving, like going on a walk or doing some yoga or stretching or like just going and walking around, in the sunshine or in the rain, whatever it might be, getting up and moving can help you to get out of your head and into your body. So if you are stressing and just thinking about like, oh, I don't want to do this thing, but I got to do this thing. Like, oh, what else can I do? Oh, I have these other things I could do instead. You're in that like head space, um, and not in the good way like the app, but you're in that like place of it's just in your head. And so you've got to get down into your body. That will help you get grounded, which gives your head some space and gives you a place to like be more clear and really see like, okay, I can find some solutions now. I've turned the stress response down and now my brain is ready to go. So basically it helps to take some of the mental load off. It alleviates some stress and turns down the stress response. So when you do this, your brain is able to process and think again, which can sometimes help you find the solution or the clarity or the great idea you were stuck on without knowing it when you were sitting and stressing. So you could try going for a walk outside or doing some yoga or heading to the gym for a class or your own freestyle workout. Whatever it is, just getting out and moving. For me personally, I like to do yoga. Of course, we all know that, right? I like to go on a hike. I like to take my dog for a walk, and honestly, I like to just go to the gym, put some really good music on, pop in my earbuds so I don't have to talk to anyone, and just do my own workout thing. And that is what I love to do. So another thing when you are procrastinating to avoid things is to start with a brain dump. So maybe you have already gotten up and moved, or maybe you're just not able to do that right now, but you need something to help you, get some space in your brain so that you can start thinking. And maybe it's that you have just so much stuff that you aren't sure where to begin, or like a lot of ideas, like sometimes so many ideas that you feel just it's all turned into one big block. What you could do is to start with a brain dump. So instead of starting with the thing and again sitting down and saying yes, do it now, start with a brain dump to clear up some space in your mind. Honestly, this whole episode is kind of an example of a brain dump, right? I'm feeling stuck. I am feeling that I'm procrastinating. I've gotten up and moved. I've come to sit down. It's just not working. So a brain dump is happening right now. And I am just dumping all of this out when what I meant to be doing, what I meant to do first was to share about my experience on things or revamp my website. But I'm here, brain dump, and we're going to talk about this. So it's basically when you just start writing or talking, maybe about the issue, Or, maybe about something else. Maybe you just start with, I am so stuck and I don't know where to start with the thing I'm stuck on. Or you write down, like, I'm going to do a brain dump and I don't even know what I'm going to write about, but here I am and I am writing and my pen is moving on the paper and, this is the thoughts that are happening right now. And you just keep writing. Sometimes you'll get to this like natural stopping point where you're like, okay, whew, there. Sometimes you can set a timer and say, okay, for at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I'm going to just write, even if it is like, I am just writing because I said I would write for 5 minutes. And so this is the sentence that I'm writing down, just getting some things going. Often it's that initial starting point that can trip you up. Like when you want to work out, but you find 1,000 excuses why it won't work. But then once you start, you feel like you could keep going longer than you ever planned. The act of writing, or again, talking it out, can help you to get going and then start brainstorming, writing, creating, or whatever it is you need to do by getting you through that first step and clearing out some space. It might not be exactly what you planned, but it is a step forward. So again, for example, I plan to work on something else and a few other projects, but this came out of it and this is a step forward. It's getting me back into being here speaking with you, podcasting, writing, and creating things for you. So this is a step forward while it might not be what I planned. And along with that is the last thing, and this one is more of a reminder. Aim for done, not perfect. There is no guarantee that things will go as planned or be as epic as you imagined. This is one of the biggest, most helpful things I ever learned during yoga teacher training, and one of the things that transferred over the most into being an SLP. I could plan out a class and have everything exactly how I wanted, have it lined up with the music perfect, have even have it written down so I know exactly what to teach for how many breaths, how many, holds, whatever it is. And the people that show up might not be what I was planning on teaching, or the abilities might not be, maybe I was going to do some like really advanced pose because usually it was a really advanced class. And then that day is all people that are first time doing yoga or that have like major injuries. Or maybe what I had planned, I totally forget to do part of it. Either way, it's not going as I had planned, right? It's not as epic as I imagined, but it doesn't mean that it won't get done. And honestly, the people there, they don't know your plan, right? And so whatever my yoga class was that I had planned, the only person that knows about it is me. And so whatever I end up teaching, that's what they think the plan was the whole time. So you can aim for just getting it done and not for being perfect. And that transfers over into your speech room, but also transfers over into whatever you're procrastinating on. Those ideas of perfection and getting everything settled first can really stop you from ever getting started. So sometimes we call this analysis paralysis. You're going through all the things that could happen, all the things you need to get started to have it just perfect, and that must be done before you start, before you can actually begin it at all. And it keeps you in procrastination mode. It stops you from getting started. It also stops you from ever failing because you can't fail if you don't start. But it also stops you from reaching those epic ideations and goals. And the thing is, like, most likely you romanticized it, right? Things won't live up to these epic dreams that you have of it in your mind. They might be a lot simpler or a little bit less in reality, but they might be something even more grand and magnificent and amazing. So just get started. Aim for letting it flow or going with what shows up and just being done with it rather than getting it perfect. And remember, no one will ever know if it isn't exactly what you envisioned, and it will seem perfectly wonderful to them. So if you, like me, are a lifetime procrastinator from generations of procrastinators, give one or two of these a try to help you get into the mode of starting whatever it is that you are procrastinating on and maybe avoiding, so that you can move forward and let the stress that's building go just a little bit. So which one are you going to try? Share in the comments or send me over on the website or send me a DM on Instagram. And I would love to hear if you've used one of these or if you have your own strategy that you use. And if you want more resources to help you manage stress, reduce the risk of burnout, and find more balance in your life, make sure to subscribe below at the SLP Toolbox link for immediate access to free resources and to receive that weekly newsletter straight to your inbox with no spam, I promise. Thank you so much for being here today. Love and light to you. Want more resources to help you manage your stress, bring mindfulness into your speech or classroom, or just feel that you have some resources you can turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed? Make sure to subscribe to the SLP Toolbox for instant access to meditations, movement, and journal templates to help you manage your stress, practice some self-care, and reduce some of that overwhelm you might be feeling. And you'll also be the first to know when my new course launches. Make sure to sign up at the link below, the SLP Toolbox, and get instant access today.